and my amazing co-hosts, Michael Schein and Mitch Jaworski. Mike, bring us in.
Massive income from passive income.
Mitch, how do we get it?
You organize and you collect.
So today we're hanging out in Tampa. So Mitch is actually here with us. He drove all the way across from the East Coast to the West Coast. Takes about 3.5 hours. And Mike Schein, ironically, is not down in the southern states or in Roatan. He's actually up in Rhode Island again. So, Mike, welcome back, man. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Rock and roll test the new title company up here. So awesome.
Blade Title.
Yes.
Mike is down here in the South with his title company.
Yeah.
So
you got a deal in Tampa. You got Mike Schein to close it. You got a deal in Ocala. You got Mike Schein to close it, and so on and so forth.
Well, it's not too far from all the other cities too in Florida. So like basically you got Florida and Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. Like those are the three states that your primaries for.
Right. We do Maine and New Hampshire, but no.
But you know, you do that for like Roger Andrews and so like
exactly.
a couple of guys, Jonathan Mello, who's got stuff in Maine, like a couple of guys up there doing stuff in Maine.
Right?
They're doing good in Maine. Roger crushed it in Maine.
Roger
found a market that worked and crushed it.
Over 100 units up there, yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
And you just basically fired your business partner, didn't he? He's no longer working for that company? Mitch?
No, we didn't do that. It was a mutually.
I'm not talking about your partner. I'm talking about Mitch.
I was gonna say.
Wait, what happened?
Feeling guilty?
Oh, Jim Bryden's at a great firm and he's happy, and I'm running my title company and I'm happy. So
hell yeah.
I didn't fire anybody.
Yeah, fire Tim. I saw Tim this week.
I retired people.
Yeah.
So
Tim quit tile. He gave it. It's like I'm done. End of August.
He quit. And that's because he made more in one deal than he made through the entire year doing tiling for other people.
I love that.
Correct.
Now he's getting his GC license. It's cool. It's been a pretty impressive month.
Leveling up.
I have been hiring people. So there's a new CEO in Alchemist Nation. We'll reveal who that is coming soon. But CEO and marketing team, like we've been doing a lot of things that take away the Gualter. Oh, we call it GNN. So GNN is brought back. We brought it back. So Gualter not needed is basically the principle. Everybody's saying it. They're like, well, you know, GNN. So I'm like, I find myself this past week feeling completely useless. And it's been weird, right? I've been listening to Neville Goddard's Relax More, Try Less. And like definitely at some point, he says it in the book. He says, you are good for nothing. And I've been using that mantra. I'm like, I guess awesome. I'm not really, nobody needs me. Like I'm just, GNN, like Gualter not needed. So it's been amazing. Awesome. And we are gunning for $5 billion worth of real estate now. Now that I'm not needed in the regular company, like doing all of these things, it's been a lot easier to start thinking about the big picture. And the summit coming up, Mitch, by the way, now knows where his spot is, what he's talking about. Mike, you're doing partnerships. You still down?
Sure.
He's like, yeah, I guess I'll do it. Books out. Mitch has got evaluating deals. He's going to be showing how he actually built a portfolio with his best friend, his business partner.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty exciting, even though Mike, you and I are clearly Mitch's best friend, and weird that Tim's the one who's getting all the credit.
I got a lot of best friends. I got some best friends you guys don't even know that Tim knows.
You're a reflection of the 5 people you hang out with most. So
there you go.
I don't know if you want to be a millionaire.
I got a good 5 best friends. I got a really good mix of 5 best friends. Each one of them are top notch in some aspect of life, if not multiple aspects.
Vinny Chopra. Vinny Chopra.
Truth. Yeah, that's another like talk about manifestation, right? I just like said I'm gonna be best friends with that guy, and every Thursday we jump on call. We're on the same mission. I'm helping raise capital for his deals. Like I cannot understand like how the universe works, other than it does seem to work exactly what Mike's been saying it. And Mike,
meditation is kind of the rocket fuel that's what I've learned in the last 26 days, that if you meditate on abundance, you will receive massive amounts of opportunities.
So this meditation on abundance, Mitch has been trying it too.
Nice.
I have. I've been slacking on meditation. I had a good run for a while.
How'd you get those biceps, man? You didn't meditate your way right to the gym?
No, I just went to the gym, did the work.
No, you
put in the work. I did it old school. I put in the work.
You did something to get yourself there. Right?
I held
I know a lot
accountable.
of people who don't show up to the gym.
Well, but here's the reality is like that's why these challenges exist, right? So I did 75 hard, so I had accountability because in that 75 days, there was definitely days where there was no way I was going to the gym if it wasn't for not breaking the chain and losing the challenge because I was just toast. Hell, there was days where I needed a day off because like my shoulder felt like it was gonna fall off. But that's but I guess that's part of the manifestation. You start doing the things physically outward.
So you meditate, you see yourself going, and then you find yourself doing the action steps. I feel the same thing with Year of Leg Day. Day 216 is there was injuries. I injured my knees, I injured my back, but I still would go and do some sort of workout that was legs, even if it was like super light or like treadmill or whatever, like Stairmaster, just to say I did it. But yeah, like now it's working. You know, like I'm everything is much better. My whole body is.
That's the key. You got there. Like you don't have to crush it every single day. It's just about doing it. It's like a crappy workout is better than no workout.
Right.
You know? And there was days where I was toast and it was just like, all right, today is literally going to be a health day in terms of like I went to the gym and I basically did like pretty much maintenance on my legs, a little bit of like leg work, but mainly just maintenance in terms of stretching, yoga type stuff, and then like abs. Like that would be kind of like my like still working out, but like almost taking a day off. I would do abs and I would basically do like health on my legs in terms of like yoga, stretching, and then I would do a handful of leg exercises just to focus on specific like problem areas, so to speak. Like that was like my taking a day off, but still getting there, getting it done.
Your arms are looking big, man. I was in the gym with you today, and I was concerned when we were doing skull crushes. I was just like, dude, he's outdoing me. I don't know that I can keep up with this, and so I'm glad for other exercises because that one was like particularly hard. And
love that exercise.
So meditation. I know when we say at Alchemist Nation, a lot of people who actually are in our programs and do what we do get it. They understand at least the importance of it, or at least hear us say and talk about it often. But these past few weeks, I have really recognized that I have worked so hard on things that could have been significantly easier. And it only has come through meditation recently that I'm starting to become more aware. And Mike, I've taken meditation to a whole other level. I meditate now 3-4 times a day.
Nice.
30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. Sometimes.
Wow, nice job.
Sometimes 2 times during the day. Like I'll go outside and sit in the sun and meditate for like 20-30 minutes.
For the non-meditator who's listening to us, what I found is that Joe Dispenza's guided meditation. So people would always tell me to sit quietly and just focus on my breathing. And I think a couple of times I did it for 20 minutes, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, it's not my jam either.
But I put on, Brenda has those like cover your eye things. And we get up 6 o'clock, we're down there, it's dark in the room. You put that on, you put on the meditation, and he just kind of guides you through. And just like any meditation, sometimes you start thinking about a tax bill, or you think about, did I take the garbage out or whatever, but you just bring yourself back because he's talking to you. And I swear to God, time and space are collapsed. This is like an hour and 10 minutes. And when I get up after doing the abundance one, it feels like 5 minutes went by. I swear to God, it's amazing. And like I said, all the stuff, the synchronicity, he talks about synchronicity, all the people that you want to meet, the opportunities that you want just magically show up without, like for a title attorney, the way matter affects matter is I call a realtor and I say, let's go out to lunch. And then I say, could you please send me some titles? And that's matter affecting matter. But in the quantum, when you're doing meditation, you just do your meditation, you get up, and I believe in this magic. I've had people call me like right after and say, hey, I've got a deal for you. And I had that today. I had a guy that we did, I can't say names, but we did a deal like a year ago, and I'm just driving to meet a friend for lunch, and he's like, boom, I've got a new deal and I want you to do the closing. I'm like, what? That's synchronicity. That's amazing. That's
I find that the more you think positively about the future, like visualize the future, visualize how you want it.
Yeah.
The more
visualization's key.
The more clearly you can see it, right? Put the details on it. Like for me,
you have to act as if it's already done. It's not a believing. I saw this on a church, like their little billboard. It's not a believing, it's a knowing.
Knowing.
So like when you, as Neville, who you're following, the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Feeling of the wish fulfilled.
It's the feeling, which is the vibration of what it would feel like. Let's say your goal was, I don't know, I want to find $500 by the end of the day.
Yeah.
You picture yourself holding $500 and what that emotion would feel like if you get it. You get really excited about it, and boom, it'll show up. It shows up. That, by the way, comes all the way back from Jesus.
Yeah.
It's act. What does he say?
Act as if it
already. He says,
good old
says,
Jesus.
Believe that you've already received, and it shall be yours.
Yep.
And that's what it is. Believe as if you've already received it. Most people say, "Oh, I want $500. I want $500." You can't think.
Yeah, they just want. They're not.
Yeah.
Picturing, believing. Well, you know what's funny about this?
Feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Yep.
Mike, you ever think about this? And it's
wanting
funny
is not feeling, right?
No.
Go ahead, Mitch.
When it comes to visualization, right? When it comes to athletes, and like you think about like Olympic, they talk about like Olympic sprinters, right? You know, and like the Olympic sprinters, like part of the process, like for every Olympic sprinter, is that visualization, visualizing the run. They go over it thousands of times in their head. They're picturing the gun go off. They're picturing crossing the finish line first, right? And why is it in high level sports, visualizing is completely normalized?
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And it clearly works. But in every other aspect of life, it's like not normal.
Crazy.
It's not like looked at as like something you do, right? And it's like, well, if it works in sports, why would it not work in other aspects of life?
There was a pitcher, Oakland A's, Barry Zito. Remember Barry Zito?
Him.
Well, Barry Zito had picked up the book Creative Visualization, and he swore by it. He was like on the Jim Rome show, not Jim Rome. And
Rome is burning.
He would just, he would just visualize what the pitch would look like. And at the time that he was doing it, he was absolutely crushing as a pitcher. Same thing. Jack Nicklaus, by the way, never looked at a shot without visualizing it before he hit it.
Yeah, that's to say, it's so common in sports, but it's not common in other aspects of life.
Right. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Except with us.
Exactly.
Well, except for us, we still
visualizing that next property.
It comes through with the same thing with fitness, right? Like we use the millionaire contract so that a person, because they use it in health and fitness, like they call it a weight loss contract, but that self contract increases the likelihood of you losing weight by 20%.
So true.
With yourself. So we did the same thing with finances and money. So the people who come to the summit end up signing it and saying, you know what, I'm going to do this because they signed a contract with themselves that get them to go and do a thing.
That's brilliant.
It's the same thing as like at the summit. What do? We take the $1 million and we have our VIPs go and sit and take pictures with that money so they can visualize themselves already manifesting it. It was the same reason I started having this prop money in my house, right?
I wanted to add something to that because I learned at the Joe Dispenza 7-day retreat that they have scientifically proved that people have to know the why.
Yes.
And he talks about these maids, and I think it was New York hotels, and they said they noticed that a lot of these maids are actually obese, and they were like, this doesn't make sense. They're running around the hotel. They're changing beds. They're cleaning toilets. They're doing aerobic exercise. They're doing stuff that actually should make them in really great shape. So what they did was they did an experiment. They split the group up into two, and one set of the maids, they told them that it's a health benefit, that they're actually surpassing what you need to lose weight and all this kind of stuff. And the other half they didn't tell. Do you know that the ones that they told had major improvements in their health and their weight. And so Joe Dispenza used that to say, if you teach an audience why they're doing something, that gets into their subconscious, and then they're off to the races.
It's changing the story, right? They're doing the same activity, but now with a different story. They're eating differently. They're saying, oh man, like I'm working out so much at work, right? I'm working out, I'm so active at work. You know,
he didn't even say they changed their diet. He said everything remained the same.
Well, they would have had to change their diet in order for things, because now we're talking caloric intake, right?
No.
Okay.
It's quantum. I swear to God, they didn't.
The quantum still has to impact on the physical, right? So the person's
keep fighting for your limitations there, Gualter.
But they could something physically has to be manifesting. So it is possible that either they're more active while they're working out, while they're cleaning, they're thinking more intelligent, like lifting more. Like the thing is that the physical results will be manifest by the subconscious mind. It's now saying this is a workout. It's going to put more intensity behind the workout.
Right. Because you don't even need to do the workout if you visualize the workout.
Correct.
So you don't even have to do. They've had people they've shown who thought about running races but never ran the races, and their times got when they ran got better because
the muscles still fired.
Yeah,
because they were thinking and the muscles were still firing. They weren't pressing, but they were firing in time. They were learning and practicing physically and mentally, like connecting that. Yeah, they've done the research. They've shown it. The biological follows the laws of the universe, and the mind forces the biological to operate. I'm not saying it's woo. I'm saying there's actual science to why each one of those things works.
Right. I just say that it's a little bit further in the woo.
Yeah, you like the woo. I
don't think you need to. I don't think you need to fire. If your subconscious knows that you look a certain way, then you end up looking that way. And I'll stick with the woo.
Well, the reality is, you're gonna I can visualize big biceps all day, but if I never pick up a dumbbell, I'm not gonna be swole.
See, that's so funny. We're at 3 different levels. Like I'm at the top level. That's just you manifest it with your brain. Gualter's at the middle one that says my mind says it, so things are firing. And Mitch is in the
very physical.
It's gonna be physical. So you're on the slowest, the matter affecting matter curve. So
I mean, yeah,
I'll meet you at the next.
It doesn't matter how it works.
No,
good. It works.
Who gives a shit?
I believe my mind can improve things without me taking action, but I believe taking action is like basically pouring steroids on it.
Right.
I can't help myself. I like to justify the things that I'm seeing. I see it and I'm like, yeah,
left brain.
That's why it all worked. Yeah.
Left brain.
That's
but I will say you definitely guide us through this.
I want to see you after you both sign up and go to a 7-day Joe Dispenza meditation retreat. I feel like that would just blow your mind. Yeah. Not a negative. None of this is negative. I'm not saying that. I just
Mike,
what happened
to
me?
The benefit of you going is that you bring it back to us. That's one of the benefits.
But I'm just waiting for you guys are gonna get phone calls. I know, Gualter, you don't answer your phone, but when they put that up that you can sign up for it, I'm gonna call you guys, because if you can go to that 7-day advanced retreat, it'll change. It changed my life. Literally changed who I am as a human being. It's crazy.
I like it. It's about that time, CEOs are in place, people are taking stuff. I told Dorena I feel pretty useless right now.
That's awesome. You manifested that.
I did manifest it, and it's interesting.
You can do
everything's running better. Everything's running smoother. It's like the less involved I am, the better everything runs. So I
feel that way about title. I don't want to be running out and taking people. A lot of the people I used to take to lunch, they never sent me a deal anyway. So why am I?
It's the worst.
Well, yeah. Why do I need if people are? I mean, I'm blessed. I'm grateful. I'm not saying that.
I'm with you, man. Take people who do business with you to lunch. I'd rather spend time with people who are doing business with me, have lunch with them, like have conversations with them, see what's going on in their world, like hang out with the people who like care about my business, or at least use my business, need my business. Like, yeah, you got the right mentality, man. And all these other people we're buying lunches for, and they ain't doing shit with us. What the hell's going on here? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm with you, Mike.
that's awesome.
I don't even do lunches with anybody. So like the fact that you still do lunches, I think it's amazing.
The point is not to work, it's to generate
Income.
But I will say that I do still believe in inspired action.
Of course.
So if like there's like a synchronicity and I run into someone like I did the other day at the beach, this person who's probably going to do some business with, cars were right next to each other at the stoplight. Did
you race for pink slips? Tesla wins every time. I know.
Mike was like, I want to live my life.
But I will call him. I mean, that I will pick up the phone. It's not like I'm sitting there going, I'm not going to call. Although,
so fast, so furious.
Back to Neville Goddard. He has a story about a couple that they have a lot right next to their building or whatever.
That's right, with the house.
And they say we're not gonna. They've always wanted an apartment building there, but they got busy. They said we're gonna test Neville Goddard's theory. We're not going to do anything. And like on day one, this guy contractor comes in and he goes, how come you don't build there? Like, well, we've always thought about building, but we never did it. But they said, Neville says, don't do anything, just whatever. Then the guy comes back and he says, listen, I'll pay for plans to do it. And they said, then he comes back and they're like, nah, that's okay. I'll tell you what, I'll build it. I think he says he'll build it and then he'll take his money on thing. They end up getting the whole thing built. And then they were like, oh, but we didn't picture like the tenant being in and this woman saying, wow, you've succeeded. So they went back and they meditated some more and thought about it. And then sure enough, they got the whole place filled with tenants with little to no effort. And then the woman came in and said, wow, this place is beautiful, just like they thought. Amazing. Amazing.
Man, I feel like this falls into the power of no a little bit. You know, those situations where it's like the more you say no, the more just keeps getting thrown at you. It's like when I used to work at Tyco, they kept trying to hire me on as a full-time employee. And I'm like, no. And they kept like giving me more money.
Yeah, because you're not resisting it. You're just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not striving.
It's a takeaway. Nice. You know, being willing to take away, walk away, that makes the universe say, okay, I'll come back with a better order. Sure.
Yeah.
Want something a little better? I got it. Okay. You're not taking the easy kill here. Ronnie says to me all the time with comedy. He'd say, man, like you pick a lot of the low hanging fruit with your comedy. Like you'll just at a speech, you're speaking and then like throw a little joke. He's like, you don't need those little jokes. Like make them fight for it. Like go for the stuff that's like earned, you know, like they had to cry before they got to the laugh, you know, like really stretch it out. And
I feel like I see it with Mitch in Gardner.
Yep.
Because I feel like Mitch, things are starting to just get thrown at him now, like deal after deal.
Oh, the whole past year, summer.
Like, I don't know what changed, but like over a year ago, it seemed like it was like walking through quicksand. But now suddenly in a market that people would say is not a good market, Mitch and Tim are killing it. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, a big piece of that is, maturation of network effect, you know what I mean? Relationships we've built with, wholesalers, realtors. I think that's a piece of it.
Physically. See how the real world
goes right there.
Well, yeah, it makes sense.
Matter affecting matter.
Me and my logical brain.
I showed up. I did things, why. Mike.
Well, you got to find the reason why, apparently.
Well, but there's the sign.
Either way, yeah.
He showed Joe Dispenza showed a sine curve. Remember math when you had sine and cosine? So sine is like a very wavy thing, and you got space up here and time down here. So space takes a long time. So if you want to buy a house, you go to the bank, you get a 30-year mortgage and you pay, and 30 years later, space and time meet and you own a house. But up in the quantum, where that curve is flattened out, there is no space. There is no time and space are together. So things happen much, much faster.
I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, okay, well, I just planted these pepper plants, Mike. I planted pepper seeds and they became little pepper bushes.
Yeah,
I'll awesome. Mike, Mitch, I'll show you on the way out. So these little pepper bushes, they're supposed to one day be pepper plants and create and produce peppers. And I'm like, how does this work? You can't speed that shit up, can you, Mike? Now I'm thinking, I could probably go on Amazon right now and Amazon would send me peppers and I'd have them by midnight, you know?
Right. Or somebody, a friend of you will just show up with a pepper plant.
Yeah,
just
and
been here.
I've been out here growing these things from seeds. You know, 10 like planted and potted. I could have gone right into Home Depot. And they had them all done.
Can I tell you a crazy story that was at the last? Sorry, I'm fanboying Joe Dispenza, but he said, so he's been meditating and manifesting for years now, right? Like probably
Kind of
30
good at it. He's done us a time.
He's got a big, he's got like 20 horses on his farm in like Oregon and all this.
I don't understand this. Like, if you're gonna manifest, why do you own horses? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that sounds like Tarina's manifestation.
Tarina's like suddenly jumps on and goes, I love horses. Anyways, so he says he goes outside one day. So he's got a huge acreage. There's nobody around but him. Okay. So this is not like in the city or anything like that.
Okay. All of this sounds terrible, but go on.
Yeah. So he goes underneath a tree on his own property and he meditates. And he says, I don't know how long I was there, but I knew that when I got up, it was getting dark. So he starts walking back to the house. And as he's walking back to the house, I swear, I'm not making the story up. He says he's thinking about this bread that he has on top of his refrigerator. And he's not really excited about this bread. In fact, he's kind of bummed out. It's just kind of there in a bag on top. And because he's thinking about eating, right? Says he's walking along, thinking about it after doing this meditation. And out of the sky, a loaf of bread just dropped right at his feet. From fucking nowhere. And he said, I just picked it up and walked in. So there was no anything. It was just, I
gotta know the story behind the bread. I feel like Mitch is like,
there is none. There was no logical explanation for it. There wasn't like people having like bread catapults in the next neighbor or anything.
Come on. And then he woke up, right? Like,
no.
And then he woke up.
Took the bread. He went inside and, like a good Italian, he had bread with his meal.
Have you tried the bread? It's good bread.
So he had another story similar where he said he was thinking about a rose and he's meditating and suddenly up his driveway, this woman in this beat up old car pulls up with a box and says, here, don't ask me anything about it. He hadn't told anybody that he was looking for the rose. He just thought about it. She just says, don't ask me. He doesn't know who she is. And I think he even said she was like missing a tooth and she drives away. He opens it up and in there is a rose in a glass container. No explanation. Just when you get to that level of manifestation, you can manifest anything. Anything.
We don't have somebody who can corroborate the bread story. So, very concerned about the facts around the bread story. The girl, like there's a woman there. I get that.
The bread is just raining and Gualter wants to
I feel like, God did do this at some point. There was like this thing called manna, and he was like throwing it down from heaven.
Right.
So I do know that shit's bread is common to be falling from the sky.
That's like
in a plastic wrap.
It's like there was a Tom Cruise movie, Magnolia.
Yep.
And right in the middle of it, it starts raining frogs.
Yep.
Frogs come pouring down. But that one has like a logical thing where like a lake, the water gets sucked up and then the frogs go with it. And but
I like those, Mike. They reach to my left side of my brain.
Nothing with the bread. He had no explanation.
I can't say anything because it does seem like every day I meditate, every day something amazing happens, and it has been more and more, especially with the tasks that I see in front of me. I say, damn, like I don't know how to do this, and then Ronald will tell me, hey, I just hired 9 VAs. It's like, fuck, like, dude, like that's exactly what I was thinking about. I knew we needed a team of VAs, a team that was specific for a thing, and he'd have it, or a new software, or like Andrew's like rocking this AI thing, and they're just out of nowhere with no reason for them to know that I desire this result.
Exactly.
People are bringing these things into our community, into our business.
Don't you love it?
What you think about, you bring about.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking about.
I mean, think about
condos. I'm thinking about my condos selling for $185,000. Right? I bought them for $35,000. I was thinking about selling them for that, and now they're selling for that.
That's.
I mean,
awesome.
Honestly, like
I don't know.
Just
like
they
were selling for 100 too.
just thinking about it is like probably like just a slow burn way of meditation. Like meditation just amplifies because think about it. It's like, what am I thinking about? What I'm like, I've been thinking about
Cigar.
do we get, yes, that too. But I've been like thinking about, all right, how do I get Tim to get his commercial license and stop doing tile? I've been thinking about this for like a year and now it's happening.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
So,
It makes me
like,
think,
shit,
what
if I
if you were
meditated
like,
and visualized on it, maybe it would have happened a year sooner.
I was gonna say the same thing. What if you're meditating and visualizing it and believing? Because truth is, you probably could have done it sooner. Like logically, like the math would have been there.
Easily. Easily.
Well, and then here's the thing though, and the funny part is like, the opportunity popped up where it's just like, all right, a convenience store up next to a property that we had no intention of selling, that we planned on holding for 20 years. It was just like,
as soon as you told me about that, I said, sell it, get rid of it.
And it's funny because then I looked at selling it. I never considered. And then when I looked at selling, I'm like, this actually makes a lot of sense because out of all our properties, this is the one where A, we can free up a good chunk of money, but B, not take a big taxable gain, by actually taking the money. Anything else, if we don't 1031, we're going to get, big hit. So I was just like,
a lot of your equity sitting at it, right?
This is making sense. So yeah, so it was just funny. Like, I was thinking about it the past year and then all of a sudden an opportunity presented on how to make it happen. So
pretty crazy, man. This whole manifesting thing, like, so I guess for those of you who are listening, we're gonna off because we're gonna go eat some food and smoke some cigars. Go ahead, Mike.
Wait, before you do that, I did want to say that just as an aside, if you choose to live life by the 5 senses and what you see, it's okay. But believing in the quantum, in the vortex, in vibration and all this makes life so much more exciting. And if we're spiritual beings just in a physical body for a little while to have a little adventure before we go back up and then we come back down to something else, wouldn't it be more fun to just sort of live life that way? Even if you have challenges, even if, there's like money challenges or whatever there is, I would rather have the life where we're treating this like it's a game, like we're doing something that's fun. Like there's some quote about most people go through life from birth to death, hoping to not get hurt or something like that. Really? Yeah. Is that what you want to do? You want to go and be careful so that you don't get, or why don't you take some risks and have some fun and manifest and have an adventure? Like that's my Friday afternoon.
Well, you generally don't regret the things you did when you're on your deathbed. You regret the things you didn't do.
Exactly. They say that about
common theme. Yeah.
100-year-olds that they ask, they just say they regret not doing stuff. So yeah, let's go do stuff.
I was talking to my mentor yesterday, and we can use this as a great segue out of here. Is he's worth a lot, millions, and he told me, I wish I bought more. Now we've all said that. He's like, if I'd known rents would get the way they are today, he's like, man, I would have bought everything. I wish I bought more. And that was the sentiment. But he doesn't regret the deals he bought. He loves them all. He was like, I love every single one of these properties that I own. I just wish that I own more of them.
Yeah.
And it's true that I feel that way with everything. Everything is, man, I should have done more of that in that time. There's a time where that was reasonable to do. Now it doesn't make any sense. Like, so there's like things I'll just never know because I just don't want to go back to that time. Like childhood, I missed a lot of it. I didn't enjoy a lot of that. Don't remember a lot of it. But like now, 37, this is like the greatest time of my life. And I think.
All right. So can I take the other side of that? Because back to Joe Dispenza one last time on this Friday afternoon. He said that when he talks to the people who've had cancer, and then they go to the 7-day retreat and the tumors disappear and they're healed completely because they're a whole new person. When asked, would you change anything? They all say, no, I wouldn't change a thing because it got me to where we are. So you at 37 are excited about where you're at because of all the stuff that you've been through. And Vinny's doing fine. So, I mean, come on. Yeah. He's done an awful lot, and who knows what opportunities or could have caused problems or change the whole track. I'm happy to be right where I am. Everything that I've experienced, no matter what it was. So.
And we're happy to have you too, Mike. Love you, wherever you are, brother.
I'm bummed I didn't get to lift weights with you guys today, though.
It was so cool. It was so cool. Mitch is getting pretty big. He's
That's awesome.
tall already, but like he's starting to get that
I
width.
don't know about all that.
What does
Definitely
Teresa?
less skinny.
What does Teresa think? She like the big guns?
She's impressed.
Oh, she's a fan.
Okay with it. Yeah.
She's
Nice.
a fan.
Give him some compliments.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Vinny's birthday is August 27th. He will be
Nice.
71 years old. That is
Nice.
Nice.
I
But
wouldn't
he
have
said
guessed
he's
it.
going to live to 200, so he's
I mean, I can believe that. I thought he was like
Yeah.
50 years old.
yeah. That's awesome.
Good for him.
Melanie Santos, August 31st.
August
Nice.
31st. Somebody else just told me August 31st too. Oh no, it was Melanie. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, that has been the 100 Millionaires podcast.
Yes.
Remember, the point is not to work, it's to generate income. Mike, take us out of here, brother.
Point is not to work, it's to generate income.
And you do that with passive income from massive. Wait,
Yeah.
yeah, massive income from passive income.
You got to
Absolutely.
organize and collect.
Yes. Organize your thoughts,
always work with
visualize,
the
and
best.
collect.
Cheers to success. Yes.
When you have a choice, always work with the best.
Always
Get it,
work with your
Mike.
best friends.
This mission will not self-destruct, but your business might if you don't start meditating. See you guys.
Oh, see you guys.